It is good, yo. It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, we are going to be ranking some of the best small forwards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. So, guys, you're going to see a lot of, honestly, power forward primaries, but that's part of it because a lot of the guys at power forward, such as Giannis, people do end up playing at that small forward position. And I mean, it is a top heavy list. If you want to get into the specific budget ballers, look, guys, you can do that. But I mean, these are some of the top guys, or the guys that I think are usable within NBA 2K22 MyTEAM today. So if you see somebody left off the list, like I think I left Reggie Lewis off the shooting guard list, so I definitely included him on here. I do apologize, guys. It's on my team database, which is kind of a little bit harder to do to get these things set up. But before I dive any further, make sure y'all smash that subscribe button, man. Let's get to 90,000 as soon as possible. So Alex English, like if you've watched, guys, if you've watched the shooting guard tier list, you know that Alex English is really good. I don't want to specifically spend too much time on him, because I've already talked about him in our last video. But the card is really good. He's just a complete shooting guard small forward in my team. Carmelo base, better on next gen than current gen, but just overall really, really solid card in the game. Scotty behind the back. Look, if you grinded all those cards, you've got a really good card in Alex English. You really do. I think he's, what, 3,600 cards, so it is definitely a grind, but you do get a pretty solid player. Iggy, again, was on the shooting guard list. Those guys are going to be in the exact same spots. Now, Andre Kirilenko, he's a card that, in my opinion, splits the difference. He's not as good as Alex English, but I do think he gives you more than Andre Iguodala, and that's my personal opinion. Now, why does he give me more than Andre Iguodala? Well, let's just start it with the power forward primary, which, if you have Don Nelson, Monty Williams, you are going to get that interior perimeter defense boost, which does help. You also get the three-ball speed. Makes him a lot better. Now, he's not perfect, but on the defensive end of the court, he is really, really solid. The speed, obviously, definitely needs boosted. But outside of that, the card is solid. Now, jump shot 98 on normal timing isn't necessarily my favorite release in the game. With Andre Kirilenko, I shot more full bars than even in question. Like, I've shot more full bars than you could even imagine. It's just absolutely ridiculous to me. But at the same time, guys, I do like the card. I really do like what AK-47 brings to the table on the defensive end of the court. Anthony Edwards, the card is terrible. Eventually, guys, 2K is going to drop a good ant. It's just not right now. I mean, this card is terrible. He's got a jump shot 80 on normal time and base triple style. The card is not good. He's just not good. Cam Reddish. I'm going to throw Cam Reddish into B tier. I'm pretty sure he was on the shooting guard tier list as well, so a lot of these cards are going to be the same, but we're not going to spend a ton of time, but I do like Cam Reddish, a different version of AK. Not going to be as good of a defender, but a little better on the offensive end of the court. Where does Carmelo Anthony lie? It's either at the upper tier of B tier or lower tier of A tier. And here's the deal with Carmelo Anthony. You compare him to Alex English, who is basically his clone. That's what we've got to do. Now, Alex English, obviously, guys, is a little bit shorter. Melo's a little bit taller, but they're pretty similar in general. Now, the big difference is shifty compared to slasher. Carmelo on normal, Carmelo on quick. That's the big difference in the cards as well as tendencies. I do think it's enough just based on his 6 animations to not move Carmelo Anthony up. More than anything, because it's his based on normal timing. If you'd have his based on quick, then maybe we'd have something to talk about. But on normal timing at this point of 2K, is just something that I can't really hype up now. Cedric Maxwell, he's going to go in the same spot he did yesterday, and so is Chris Mullin. Again, I do tier this. I like including everybody that you might be playing at the small forward position. And I think both those cards do enough to be an S tier. Cincinnati's Powell, I do think is an A tier caliber small forward in my team. And that's not me saying I love Cincinnati's Powell, but that's me respecting what he does, right? I do not like Cincinnati's Powell. I shouldn't say that. I do not love Cincinnati's Powell. That's what I will say. Now, with that being said, he is one of the most complete small forwards in the entire game. X and base on quick, shifty dribble style. You look at what he's got. He should be better than he is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's me not giving him handles for days. Maybe it's me not giving him chef. All the badges he needs, unpluckable. But when I used him, his player model didn't feel as good as it maybe should have compared to some other small forwards. I just didn't have as much success with Cincinnati as I thought I would. I just really was not as impressed with Cincinnati as I thought I would be. Still, though, I gotta respect him putting him in A tier. Corey Kispert, a card I do not like. I mean, at all. You talk about a guy who is a one-trick pony as far as shooting, because defensive is not great, and his upper release is horrible. Like, I know y'all gonna say, well, he's got Jaren's upper. Well, guys, is it Jaren's upper that's good, or is it the jump shot 109 that's good? I mean, I just don't know about the upper on Corey Kispert. It's super low, and maybe on Jaren it's fine, but on the Ray Allen base, I don't like it. Look, guys, you guys can hate me if you want. Corey Kispert is going into D tier. Andre Iguodala, in my opinion, is going to do so much more on you, or on the court for you, than a guy like Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert really is that one-trick type of pony. Gallinari up next. Now, I know Gallinari is a guy that you guys might not think about a lot as being, you know, a small forward that you use or stuff like that. But look, guys, I think Gallinari deserves your respect. And when I say that, I mean, he's going to have a good release. Gallo based on quick, shifty dribble style, 95 3-ball. Can handle the ball a little bit. Does come with shifty dribble style. Dame behind the back, which is not horrible. Hall of Fame bullet interceptor. Great shooting wise. I'm not up here saying Gallo is the best small forward in the game. But what I am saying is, if you don't think he's B tier on the verge of being A tier, you're wrong. I mean, you're objectively wrong. I'm putting Gallinari into A tier because here's the deal. You give him Don Nelson, you get that speed to a 96, perimeter up to a 96. He can defend well. He can shoot, obviously, incredibly. At 6'10", Gallo is in that A tier of caliber players. Danny Ferry, look. I'm putting him in the A tier, but I don't want to. I do not like Danny Ferry. You guys might be like, well, Ty, you just got done hyping up Gallinari. Why do you like Gallinari more than Ferry? Here's what I'll say. These cards are so close together, and if Gallinari's name was Danny Ferry, y'all would be hyping up Gallinari more. Okay, the only other difference is the wingspan's a little bit better. I way prefer Gallinari's base to Danny Ferry's jump shot 98 on quick. Jump shot 98 is a thing of the past, guys. It'll never be jump shot 98 ever again. It just won't. I'm sorry, but it's the way it is. Danny Ferry, objectively, guys, is still good. He's got basically every badge in the game. He's 6'10". But if you think Danny Ferry is that much better than Danilo Gallinari, look at yourself in the mirror, because you're just wrong. It's that simple. Gallo is on the same level as Danny Ferry when you do, you know, give them the right coaches, the right shoe. I do like Danny Ferry just that maybe a little bit more or as an overall card, but I'm not that high on Danny Ferry. Danny Granger, a card I do like, but I do think belongs in B tier. And B tier might be high for Danny Granger. You guys might think it, and I might agree with you, but here's the thing. He's a guy that can hold it down. I mean, at B tier, guys, those are just guys that I think can hold it down. And I still think if you're running Danny Granger, you can hold it down. Normal leaner, Hall of Fame circus threes. I'm pretty sure he's got at least its own gold. Yeah, Hall of Fame circus threes. You look at the defense, not great. But as far as shooting-wise, even offensively, Danny Granger is pretty solid in my team. Still to this day. DeMar DeRozan is horrible. DeMar DeRozan is horrible. And I don't know if I need to say it louder for the people in the back, but DeMar DeRozan is horrible. The card stinks. This card might be worse than Anthony Edwards, and there's no might about it. This card is worse than Anthony Edwards. DeMar DeRozan is the single worst card on this list. Why is he worse than Anthony Edwards? Well, here's the deal. They both can't really move. They both have mid-releases. It's 60 interiors, never getting you a stop. At least Ant can play some shooting guard. DeMar can't. DeMar DeRozan, single worst card, in my personal opinion, on this list. Now, let's see some of the other bad players that we have. Mike Miller. Look, man. Mike Miller. Here's the question. Are you better? This is the question of the day. Is Mike Miller better than Corey Kispert? That's the question of the day that I'm asking, okay? Mike Miller going to be a little bit taller at the shooting guard position. Going to, do some stuff better like driving, dunk. Corey Kispert might be a little bit better defensive. But remember, Mike Miller is that 6'8". Animation, jump shot 22 on normal time. That's really the killer for Mike Miller. The fact that he's got that on normal timing. I think at this stage of the game, he is F tier. But for a time, Mike Miller was okay. And for his time was really, really solid. Problem is, that time is not now. Other F tier players, Paul Pierce. Look, guys, I know you got to grind a lot of cards to get to Paul Pierce. And maybe he's not F tier. Maybe I'm gassing it. And I am. Paul Pierce is not good, but he's not F tier. I would throw him into D tier. The reason he's so bad is because he's got Paul Pierce base on normal timing. I get quick dribble style. Like, I get quick dribble style, but that's not doing enough when you got the Paul Pierce base. The Paul Pierce base is absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You step in the corners. On next gen, it's even worse. Paul Pierce is a guy that eventually, hopefully, they change his release so we can get a usable and good Paul Pierce. Elgin Baylor, man. He was on my last tier list. I don't know exactly where I'm putting him. I think I put him in B tier on my last list, and I think that's where he's going to go. Look, if you want an unconventional guy to run at the small forward position, you can put him at small forward. You can put him at shooting guard. He can rebound, can defend, can block shots. He can do it all, right? Brook Lopez, based on quick, is he can move and groove. He can do it all. Elgin Baylor is a guy at the small forward position that I think you can make the case that he's every bit as good as Cincinnati's pal. The only problem is he's only 6'5". Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe a biased opinion, he's going into S tier. Again, it might be my biased opinion, but you give Giannis Antetokounmpo, Don Nelson, and tell me how many more better small forwards there are in the game. 84 3-ball, 99 speed, 97 interior, 98 perimeter. You give him a lateral quickness shoot. Gonna defend better than nearly everybody else. Gonna have the shooting badges you need. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the man with the plan in 2K. It always has been and probably always will be. Giannis, S tier player. Grant Hill. It's another interesting one. I think with Grant right now, for the time we're in, I'm gonna have to go B tier. And it's really because of two reasons, okay? He was on the shooting guard list as well. Jump shot, one on normal timing, base, dribble style. That's why you're going into B tier, right? If they had your release on quick with quick or shifty, you'd be a little bit higher. And I can't wait till we get a Grant Hill that can do that. Pretty limited, though, in the offensive end is Grant Hill. Hedo Turkoglu, I hate to do this. I want to move Hedo higher because on next gen, he is so elite. But my question to y'all is this. Is Hedo Turkoglu that much better than Danny Granger? That's my ultimate question to you guys. I do think Hedo is a little bit better than Danny, but I don't think it's by much. The only thing Hedo is going to do is dribble better. That is it. Dribble better, have a little quicker release. That's really it. Otherwise, they're basically the same. So what I am going to do is I am going to move Hedo up because I do think he gives you more than everybody at B tier if you are on next gen. I absolutely love Hedo. He's on my No Money Spent squad. And I think he can compete at that highest level. I really do for Hedo. Jason Tatum. Look, guys, it's going to get hard. It's going to get really, really hard really soon here. I got to put Jason Tatum into A tier as well. Why? I prefer Jason Tatum to a guy like Andre Kirilenko. If you grinded for Jason Tatum back in late January, you got an absolutely incredible player. And I can't tell you guys enough how that Jason Tatum, if you have him, still can play today. It's not like Jason Tatum's outdated. He's still got his base on quick. I get base dribble style, but at the small forward position, it doesn't really matter. This was a card that was close to playing in the 250K tournament to me. That is how much I did like Jason Tatum. And I think he is right on the level of guys like Cincinnati's pal, Danny Ferry. I really do. Jeremy Grant up next. Look, guys. He's another A-tier player. He just is. I mean, throw all these 3-and-D guys in one tier. I mean, honestly. Now, yes, Jeremy's going to have quick, but I prefer Jason Tatum's release to Jeremy's. Jeremy's isn't terrible, but I just do prefer Jason Tatum's. Jeremy is just going to be that little bit better of an all-around card, in my opinion, than a guy like Jason Tatum. But it's not enough to move him up to S tier. If you got Jeremy Grant, you got a really, really, really solid player. But so, same thing with Jason Tatum. Cincinnati's pal, Danny Ferry, Gallinari. Gallo, I'm going to have to move down just because I don't think he's quite to that level, and I'm going to move Hedo down as well. We're going to move some players in B tier down. Grant Hill, just going to have to move you down just for the time we're in. Carmelo Anthony, Danny Granger is going to have to get moved down as well. I think I like this just a little bit more. Maybe I have to move Cam Reddish down, but we're going to leave it like this for a little bit. I got to just eventually kind of even things out. What I am going to do is also this. Ant down, Kispert down, because y'all both stink. Iggy right there. That way I can make C tier just that little bit better. Kawhi Leonard, easy inclusion into S tier. There's no question about it at all. The dude that started the 250K tournament for me at the small forward position. If you want to play him at shooting guard, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. He can hoop wherever he's at. Has the easiest release in all of 2K to green to time. And I'm a big fan of what Kawhi Leonard can bring to the table. K Disney up next. I can't put him in A tier. I just simply can't. I like KD. He is really solid. But in my opinion, for right now, he is a B tier caliber player. Here's the deal. Kevin Durant's going to see a better card soon. He is. Okay, but this KD, he leaves a lot of these stats a little bit left to be desired. Strength. Steal, block, like they all just could be that little bit better. Rebounding stats, defensive badges, they could all just use a little bit of a boost. I'm not saying KD's bad. He's probably the best player at B tier. No, he's A tier. If I got Danny Ferry in A tier, I gotta have KD in A tier. I just have to, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He'd be the top of B tier, but I still think he's hanging on by a thread in that A tier. Lamar Odom is a perfect inclusion into C tier. Just mid. And he's a reason I have him on my nobody spec, but I just want to get rid of him. Like, he's just mid all the way around. 88, 88, 88, 88, 88, 88. Like, 88, everything is for Lamar Odom. Reminds me of the card that we saw in 2K20 that literally was just mediocre all the way around. I mean, it's just kind of what he reminds me of. Now, I'm not sitting up here and saying Lamar Odom's great. I'm not sitting up here saying he's terrible. He's mid, C tier. Larry Bird is not mid. Larry Bird is not mid at all. And if you grind it for this Larry Bird card, all I can honestly say is, I'm sorry, this card leaves a lot to be desired. I don't even think you can make the case he's better than Lamar Odom. I honestly don't even think you can make that debate. I'm putting Larry Bird in D tier. It's where he belongs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. King James, S tier. The crazy part is they gave out a LeBron James locker code, and I didn't even have the ability to get him because I was playing in 250. But man, if you got that locker code, man, if you pulled him out of packs, man, if you got him off the auction house, you got LeBron James. King James, one of the best cards in the game. He always will be because of his player build, player model, you know, just animations. Brian will always be a top player in the game. Paul George, easy inclusion into B tier. You want to make the case Paul George is A tier? You can. The lower end of A tier, I'd say. But I like Jason Tatum more than him. I probably like KD more than him. Paul George is just mid. And when I say that, I mean, what is he really doing? He has a 79 interior. Paul George based on normal timing. The card is just not great in 2K. That's all there is around it. Paul Millsap up next. Now, Millsap is an interesting one. Because quite honestly, I can say I like Paul Millsap better than everybody at B tier. Maybe we'll have to milk out B tier a little bit here. But what does Paul Millsap not do on the court? 92 speed, 95 interior, 92 perimeter. Great defensive player in general. If you grind a domination, guys, you got an A tier caliber power forward, small forward in the game. Small forward, power forward. You did. And I'm not trying to sit here and gas Paul Millsap, but it's just honest. I mean, if you want to make the case Jason Tatum's an A tier player, which I do, I love Jason Tatum, you got to include Paul Millsap in that tier. I'm a big fan of what he can provide. Reggie Lewis. This one might get hate. Look, guys, at the small forward position, he's B tier at this point. He's not better than Paul Millsap. And if you want to make that argument, I want to know how. How is he better than Paul Millsap? We'll put him up side by side. Paul Millsap, in my opinion, has just as good of a release. Paul Millsap has a better player model. Paul Millsap has more stats, better rebounder. I just think all around, Paul Millsap is just as good as Reggie Lewis, and even better because of the total badges, okay? And so if you guys love Reggie Lewis, I'm sorry. B tier is not bad, though, right? B tier is really not bad at all. I'm going to move some people down just because I think I have to. AK down. Also going to move Carmelo Anthony down and Cam Reddish. I think I like this just a little bit more. I'm going to leave Carmelo up for now. Just because, I mean, the small forward tier list is actually pretty tough. RJ Barrett, look, you might want to argue B tier. I can't. Wherever Cam Reddish is, RJ Barrett's got to be. And look, guys, this is just me sitting up here saying RJ Barrett's not quite as good as a guy like Reggie Lewis. I think he's just that little bit worse. But is he really that worse than Reggie Lewis? Let's talk about this because a lot of people love Reggie Lewis. But let's talk about that. RJ Barrett is just as good as Reggie Lewis, and I prefer his release. So let's talk about it, and let's move all three of these guys up into B tier because I think they deserve it. Now, obviously, you're going to want to play RJ Cam at that shooting guard position, but I definitely think that they deserve to be at that B tier. Rudy. This is tough. I can't not put Rudy at S tier. So, look, I don't know what you guys want to do, I guess, in this scenario. I don't know what to do because Rudy's got to be at S tier. We're just going to have to put more players at S tier, which I'm perfectly okay with. This list is not going to be proportional, but it's okay because Rudy's got to be at S tier. He's just got to be. He played as my backup small forward at 250, and he, was absolutely incredible. So he's got to be on this list, better than on current gen and next gen, but absolutely incredible. Scottie Pippen. Put him in S tier on my shooting guard list, and I'm putting him in the S tier on my small forward list, and I have no regrets about it. Scottie Pippen, the man with the plan in 2K. Sharif, wherever Paul Millsap is. I mean, these cards go hand in hand. They are both absolutely incredible free cards. Both deserve to be at A tier. Terry Dishinger, jeez Louise, man. What do I've created a disaster. I'm going to do this. Put Terry Dishinger at A tier. I'm going to put Scottie Pippen at A tier, and I'm going to put Rudy at A tier. And then we're just going to have to really weed out some cards here, man. Paul George, you got to stay there. RJ. Let's do this, Reggie. Let's go Elgin down. Reggie down. We're going to move a lot of these cards down. I mean, we just got to. Just got to move a lot of these cards down. Granger, down. Lamar, down. Larry, down. You are horrible. Paul Pierce, down. Look, this tier list is strong. I just want you guys to know this is not for the faint of heart. If you do like, you know, good tier list. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move Larry up one. Okay, let's move some players down from A tier. So who is at the bottom half of A tier? KD down a tier. Let's see. JT got to go down. Ferry down. Look, I like this a little bit more, and you guys might not like it, but it is what it is. I gotta keep this balance. I like Paul Millsap Sharif more than everybody at B tier. It is what it is. I know they're free cards, but I still like them just as much. Thurl Bailey, a perfect inclusion into that B tier. Long, lengthy, you get the Evo 1-up, he can shoot, knock down shots, and all around great power forward in the game. And he's pretty cheap. Thurl Bailey, definitely a solid card for you guys to pick up, and maybe one I'll pick up back up on my no money spent squad series. T-Mac, a lot of you guys are going to hate me for this. He's a B tier caliber player. He is. I do not think Tracy McGrady is quite into the A tier if you get the base one. Now, if you get one with 40 Hall of Famers, obviously he is going to be that next level good. But a base T-Mac, I mean, Trey Burke base, normal timing, not great defensively. Call him mediocre. Xavier McDaniel, does he not fit that D tier perfectly? To end it off, does he not? I mean, I'm asking you a question. Does he not fit that D tier perfectly? I do think he's better than everybody at F tier, in my humble opinion, but I don't think he's that great. So we got a little bit more proportional here, and I do like where we're at. I know a lot of you guys might not like this list, and I'm intrigued to hear your comments down below. We had to maneuver this a lot, and we came a long ways from it. So hopefully you guys did watch till the end. Hopefully you watched the whole thing, so you guys heard my thoughts on each and every one of these players. Gallo started in A tier and ended in C tier. That just goes to show how talented we have at the small forward position. A guy like, here's the deal, guys. You can make the case a guy like Terry Dishinger is not a top 10 guy to play at that small forward position right now in 2K. And that's absolutely incredible, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, though. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.